And I also have Ms. Davis now here from Pretrial Release Services. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Hello, sir. My name is Mr. Henry Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in 2021 CF 5277AO on charges of possession of cocaine, intent to sell and deliver with a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and 15 counts of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of MDMA or ecstasy, resisting an officer without violence, and providing false information to law enforcement. I reviewed the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. Going to set your bond in count one, amount of $15,000. Count two, going to stay your bond amount of $4,000. Counts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Going to set your bond amount of $1,000 each. Count 18, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $1,000. Count 19, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $500. And count 20, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $500. Condition of your bond, you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not allowed to associate with any drug dealers. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You're on probation in Volusia County, and the law enforcement officer filed an on-view violation of that probation. I'm going to hold you at no bond on that violation of probation. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you while you're in my custody on that Volusia County case as well. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell me your name, sir.
Gregory Van Ketwick.
Sir, you're here in 2019 CF 12806AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing that warrant set your bond at $0. I'm going to stay your bond in that amount. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you if you're not already appointed in that case. You have a great day, sir.
So one will be appointed, Your Honor?
You have a public defender as an attorney unless you want to hire your own attorney, but your bond is going to be $0 on each count, because that's what the KPS told me to set, at least keep it as.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Interpreter, I have not been sworn in today yet, and I am trying to connect to the headphones.
All right. First, put your name on the record, because I didn't hear that first.
This is Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter.
All right, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear you'll translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
All right, put your hand down. You said you're trying to make a connection. Have you been able to make that connection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, tell me your name.
Alexis Colon.
Alexis Colon.
Mr. Colon, you're here in 2021 CF 5313AO on charge of conspiracy to commit a felony. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. Didn't find probable cause for that, but I was going to ask the state if they needed more time to file a corrected charging affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to ask for 24 hours to potentially have other charges. I also reached out to the DB supervisor to potentially have a detention motion
Okay.
pending, so I would ask for at least 24 hours.
All right. All right, ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Jennifer Acosta, ACOSTA.
All right, Ms. Acosta, I'm going to take your testimony now, just so you don't have to, if you don't get back to us before. So can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Ma'am, how do you know Mr. Alexis Colon?
He's my ex-boyfriend.
And do you want to have contact with him?
No.
All right. All right, State, I'm going to give you 48 hours to file a corrected charging affidavit in this case. So we'll bring you back. That'd be Monday or Sunday?
Sunday, Your Honor.
Let's do Monday. Monday morning.
72.
Let's bring it back Monday morning for a reset for probable cause determination. Mr. Alexis Colon, I'll see you Monday morning, okay? I'm gonna hold you at no bond until I see you
Yes,
on
sir.
Monday. But during that time, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. You understand that?
Yes.
So no phone calls, no letters, nothing from the jail. I'll see you on Monday morning.
Are we appointed today, or will we?
Yeah, one point of public defender to represent you, sir. You have something for me? Do I have any more cases for the interpreter?
One more, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Paula Geraldo. No, I don't.
Do you need an interpreter?
Why?
She does not need an interpreter.
Okay, because she answered me in perfect English.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
Sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't get your name.
And my name?
Yes.
I'm Judge Bain. Judge Andrew Bain. How are
Thanks.
you?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right, have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Tell me your name, ma'am.
My name is Paula Geraldo.
Ma'am, you are here in 2021 MM 3101 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence that you may have to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, ma'am. One second. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name. I can't hear you.
E. Clay.
What happened to, we'll do Mr. Clay and then we'll take Mr. Fair. Your case is Mr. Tyrone? Mr. Fair? Mr. Fair? Hello? Your guy's Mr. Tyrone, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll call him next, all right? All right, Mr. Clay, tell me your name again.
Steve Clay.
Mr. Clay, you're here in 2021 CF 5254AO. We reset you from yesterday for to see if the state can produce any probable cause as to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4. And
Yes, Your
we're
Honor.
able to, we're providing for new information.
I did obtain a new affidavit from the officer. He was charged with aggravated assault with a motor vehicle. And due to making contact with the vehicle with the occupants inside, I have a new affidavit for aggravated battery with a motor vehill.
All right. All right, Mr. Clay, I did find probable cause as to counts 5 in this case. And with the new information, the new affidavit, I do find probable cause as to counts 1 through 4. I'm going to set your bond in counts 1 through 4 in an amount of $1,500 on each count. Condition of those bonds that you not have any contact with the victims in this case. You must maintain a separate residence from these victims. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have any questions about the no contact order from yesterday, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, sir. I was just trying to get my tag off my car.
Yeah, I understand that, but that whole situation kind of spiraled out of control. But I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot, no weapons, no weapons, no firearms. I think I said that yesterday, but yeah. So no weapons, no firearms, I said that yesterday. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Evans Tyrone.
Sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County in case 2021 CF 1253 AO. The judge in Osceola County set your bond amount of $5,000 on each count. And counsel, can you put your name on the record for?
First name Matthew, last name Ferry, and I represent Mr. Tyrone and in each case, including the Osceola County cases, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to stay your bond in amount of the set by the judge in Osceola County. I'm not going to take any action on your 2021 CF 4051 AO case.
Judge, may we be heard briefly on the out-of-county warrant? It's our position that these are add-on charges. What the detectives simply did is they added additional charges to their burglary of an unoccupied residence, and he just simply added these additional charges to the prior case.
Okay.
So we're requesting the court to consider releasing him on his own recognizance on these added charges.
Your Honor, state would object. He has a fairly lengthy history and a violent history. He doesn't qualify for ROR.
Well, Mr. Ferry, you can file a bond motion with the division judge down there in Osceola County, because I really don't have enough information to say yay or nay to your request.
Understand?
So we'll get you down. He'll be transported to Osceola probably this afternoon.
Well, he'll be released, correct? If he posted bond?
Yeah, he can post a bond, obviously, but if he doesn't post bond, he can get in front of the division judge down there in Osceola, and they can
Very well.
discuss about whether new release conditions or less release conditions are appropriate.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor, that was $5,000 on each count.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. Everybody have a great day, great weekend. Hello, how you doing? Tell me your name.
And Johnson, sir.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in 2021 CF 5263 AO, as well as 2021 CF 5238 AO, and 2021 CF 4083 AO. I believe you were set by Judge Gibson yesterday for a challenge to 2021 CF 5238 AO for possession of counterfeit substance with intent to sell and deliver. State, did you have any new information as to that charge?
No, Your Honor, I was not able to obtain any new information. I just renewed all the arguments I made yesterday regarding the intent, that it is a jury question, and based off the officer's training and experience, he believed that the amount of the substance that Mr. Johnson had was not for personal use, and he had no way of consuming the said narcotic, which also indicated to the officer through his training and experience that it was not for personal use. However, Your Honor, if you are inclined to still not find PC, state would just ask for an ROR.
All right.
Your Honor, can I be heard as well? With the case law, Nelson v. State, 707 Southern 2nd 405, I have printed off the case for your reference, if I may approach.
Sure.
may approach the state as well.
If you have case law for something coming up, like, don't hide it, because share it with me in my chamber, share it with the state attorney's office, because that's really what the rules say.
Yes,
You know, we tend to ignore that in criminal law. Go ahead.
To the case citing, there was a 50 decision about the amount of cocaine that would reach the threshold of the charge of intent to sell. In this case, evidence that defendant possessed 6 individually wrapped rocks of cocaine, did not have any cash, was insufficient to prove that defendant had intent to sell or distribute cocaine as required to support a conviction for possession with intent to distribute, absent testimony regarding weight of cocaine and whether such amount was in excess of amount normally possessed by a user. In this case, the facts in the arrest affidavit suggest he had 5 rocks unwrapped, no cash, very similar to this case, so I don't believe that probable cause to charge him with intent to sell is appropriate and that he should be released on ROR on that charge.
Right. Well, this is sufficiency of evidence case. I'm familiar with this case from my prior experience, which is different from probable cause determination. However, I do agree with Judge Gibson's assessment of the facts of this particular case, that even though intent is a jury question, there has to be something that, scales.
Understood, Your Honor.
Something. I mean, at least like they had to say that he was in a high drug area where, hand-to-hand deals are known to have happened. So the court's going to release him on his own recognizance as to that case. Finding no probable cause for that determination. All the rest of his bond conditions remain as set in the other cases.
You gonna RR him on the case or the charge?
Well,
Only one.
there are 3 different cases, and that's the only charge for that case.
You're right, I'm sorry.
Right. So the officer could have charged him with, I think some of them one was a warrant and some other stuff.
They were both cocaine cases. One was a warrant and one was, I think, an out on bond.
Yeah.
Your Honor, our client would like to know or hear from you about the bond amounts for the other charges.
Please.
Did Judge Gibson not set them yesterday?
She did, but he would like to hear it today as well.
I have anything on paper?
Well, Madam Clerk, I don't have that information, so we gotta get Madam Clerk. What happened to your green sheet of paper you had yesterday?
It's changing.
No, the only thing that changes is that one case is your ROR'd on, so everything else is the same.
So it's a 2001. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
Sorry again, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay?
Sorry again for not sending that over to your office earlier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Appreciate your consideration.
All right, tell me your name, sir.
Timothy Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in 2021 CF 5266AO on a charge of aggravated battery, domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this matter in an amount of $25,000. Condition your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You do not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You not return to the scene of this location where this incident happened. We want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
That was 25,000, correct?
Correct. That's based on the fatality factors in his face sheet.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. There you go. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name?
Carla Lewis.
What happened to Francis?
He's here, Your Honor.
Say again?
He's here.
Okay, well, all right, I'll take Ms. Lewis. All right, Ms. Lewis, you're here in 2021 CF 53, I believe 14AO on charge of attempted felony murder with a weapon. They review the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. State whatever you say as to the bond conditions in this case.
Your Honor, state would ask for no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
And one point of public defender to represent you, ma'am.
No argument, Your Honor, pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. Ms. Lewis, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to this charge. One of the conditions of your bond is you had no contact with this victim, that you not return to the scene of his location, you may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have any questions about the no contact order, ma'am?
No.
All right. Have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Angelo Francis.
Mr. Francis, you're here in 2021 CF 4226 AO on a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Valisha Brummett, Brummitt.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and none but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Francis?
It's my boyfriend, on and off again, boyfriend.
Okay, you can put your hand down, it's fine. And do you want to have contact with Mr. Francis during the course of this case?
Yes.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes.
There's some hesitation there. What do you need to think about?
I mean, I didn't quite understand like how the question, like how you were putting it. Like, what do you mean? Like, if it happens again, will I contact them again, or?
Yeah, would you call the police if, somebody threatening you with a firearm?
Yes.
Would it be him?
I would.
Or did he take any other violent action towards you? Do you think you will call the police?
Yes, I would.
Your Honor, state would still ask for no contact given the firearm involved.
Well, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, one point of public defender to represent you, Mr. Francis. Do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor. But I did like to be heard on bond conditions. We do have the alleged victim here testifying she would like to see the victim. His history's nonviolent here in Florida and no out-of-state convictions or history. And so I would have you consider that in your determination.
So are you all back together?
Well, since that incident, yes, we had been back together. Like, I just got surgery, I had tumors in my mouth, and he was helping me with that and stuff. So,
Do you have any children in common?
no.
Your Honor, my concern
Oh, wait a
is
second.
regarding the comments such as I'm gonna have people come over here and mesh it all up when I want to, given the victim and her son live at that apartment, and due to the defendant owning or possessing a firearm.
PTR. Why does he not qualify? This is a question I'm having. Because,
Looks
I
like
mean,
it's
his history is,
driving related,
cannabis and driving, and
false ID.
he doesn't live, he has a separate residence from the victim.
You could qualify, Your Honor.
All right.
Given that he qualifies for PTR, Your Honor, state would ask for bond in conjunction with PTR.
Correct. All right, Mr. Francis, I want to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500, condition of your bond that you be subject to pretrial release supervision. I'm going to order that you have no hostile contact with this victim. I want you to be very clear about what I'm about to tell you. You can have disagreements with her. She can be upset with you about how you decided to treat her or her children, or not taking care of her in the way she wants to, or even leaving the toilet seat up. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where she's gonna call law enforcement, or somebody that sees or hears you all call is gonna call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You'll spend the remaining of your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that? You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You understand? I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Morgan, Carl Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, you're here in 2021 CF 5221 AO on a charge of attempted aggravated stalking after court prohibition.
Your Honor, I believe it's just aggravated stalking. The attempted, I think, was an error.
Yeah, it's not, the statute number is not,
The attempt.
it's not, yeah, it doesn't match the attempt.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna strike that. Sir, you're here for aggravated stalking after court prohibiting you to do so. Prohibiting contacts. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Want to set your bond in this case in the amount of $25,000. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You comply with all the conditions already set in 2021 MM 256 AW. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. In 2021 MM 256 AW, Judge Gibson ordered you to have no contact with this victim. The court's going to revoke that bond in that case, or any release in that case, and pretrial release in that case is going to be revoked. I'm going to set a new bond in that case amount of $0. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in that matter as well, if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir? Your name.
Ron Preston.
Mr. Preston, you're here in 2021 CF 5274 AO on charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Caitlin Spence, SPENCE.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Preston?
He's my boyfriend.
And do you want to have contact with Mr. Preston during the course of this case?
I do.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yes.
All right. Say, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And want to appoint the public defender to represent you. Do you have any questions for the witness?
No questions, Your Honor, but as to bond conditions, Mr. Preston does qualify for PTR, has been employed full-time 3 years, no criminal history to speak of, and the alleged victim's testimony would support no hostile contact along with perhaps PTR.
All right, sir. Mr. Preston, we're going to set your bond in the amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond will be subject to pretrial release supervision. You're to have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to have arguments with her. You're allowed to have disagreements with her. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where she's going to call law enforcement, or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You're spending the remaining of your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great, I already appointed a public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir. Have a great day, ma'am. Tell me your name, sir.
Baxter Watts.
Mr. Watts, you're here in 2021 CF 531580 on charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation, and aggravated assault with a battery. I'm going to go with just aggravated. It's going to be aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault, yes, Your Honor.
I did find probable cause for battery by strangulation and aggravated assault.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
These, well, I have questions first. These prior DV cases that involve the same victim?
1 second, Your Honor. I have a 2019 CF battery by strangulation DV and a battery DV. The victim in that case is different. I have I believe that's all in Orange County, Your Honor. I believe the other ones are other counties.
All right, sir, Mr. Watson, appointed public defender to represent you. Counsel, what do you have to tell me?
Again, as usual, just our client is employed full-time, has 0 failures to appear. I understand you'll probably issue no contact, but also a low monetary bond in your discretion, of course.
I just realized something. Did we already let Mr. Preston come? I need Mr. Preston back. I forgot to set a condition for him. We get a chance. All right. Mr. Watson, in this case, I'm going to set your bond at count 1 amount of $1,500, count 2, $1,000. Condition your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, sir.
You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Yes, Jasmine Abreu.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Say it again.
Oh, Jasmine Abreu.
Ms. Abreu, you're here in 2021 MM3070AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. You're going to be conditional pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence that you may have with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Ervon Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in 2021 MM3094AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Shabri Bailey, Bailey.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Brown?
He's my boyfriend.
And do you want to have contact with Mr. Brown while this case is pending?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
If something like this were to happen again, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brown, I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You had no hostile contact with the victim in this case. No hostile contact is this. You're allowed to have disagreements with her. You're not allowed to have, you don't have to agree with everything she says. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point whether she's going to call law enforcement or whether somebody that sees or hears you all is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You will spend the remaining of your time of this case here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
I still need Mr. Preston.
Oh.
No, I need Mr. Preston back whenever they can get to him. Yeah, whenever they can get him back here. Can you tell me your name, sir?
George Diaz.
Mr. Diaz, ma'am, can you cover your face?
Oh.
Thank you. Mr. Diaz, you're here in 2021 MM3099AO on a charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Tasha Lizenz, Lizenz, Lizince.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you put your hand down? Tell me how you know Mr. Diaz.
He's my husband.
And do you want to have contact with your husband while this case is pending?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Diaz, I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $500. Conditionally, your bond be subject to pretrial release supervision. You have no hostile contact with the witness and the victim in this case.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
as to the monetary amount, he has no criminal history, and the facts of the arrest affidavit said that it never got physical. There was no physical strike.
Well,
We have the alleged victim.
There's also a felony charge inside his affidavit that wasn't charged.
But as to this particular charge,
Correct.
right, I'm requesting a lower monetary bond unless non-monetary options are appropriate. Because again, I understand with some cases where there's physical violence, set a monetary bond. But if there was facts in
Well,
the affidavit that
Florida statute, the Florida statute dealing with pretrial release, our pretrial release statute, sub B of that statute tells me that dangerous crimes, I shouldn't set non-monetary bonds.
in your discretion, Your Honor, thank you.
Well, my discretion is ROR or electronic monitoring.
Excuse me, I meant to say for your consideration.
Yeah. Which I don't think ROR is appropriate in this case. I believe, and the facts of this case, unlike the other charge, and like there's a felony charge that's sitting there right in the middle of this affidavit.
There's a hindering communication, Your Honor.
Yeah. So, sir, I'm going to set your bond amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You had no hostile contact with the witness in this case. That means that you're allowed to have disagreements with her, with your wife. You don't have to agree with everything she says. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point of whether she's going to call law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you're going to be arrested. You're spending the remaining of your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
I do, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Did you want me to appoint a public defender to represent you? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Did you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you, or are you gonna hire your own attorney?
Public defender, please.
It says you make $700 a week.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any dependents? Any children?
Well, my wife's pregnant. She's due next month.
Well, they don't count until they actually get here.
Yeah.
So, do you have any children, other children? Did you pay child support for?
Yeah, I do pay child support. It's court ordered. Every week they take out
How many children?
it's one.
One child. How much are you paying child support?
About $110 a month, a week. About $433.33 a month.
Whether you didn't put any liabilities, what other liabilities do you have?
Liabilities.
Yeah, bills. What, like, how much are your total bills a month?
Bills. I mean, do you want a grand total?
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's say like, I don't know, $1,000 a month.
All right. All right, you said yes to savings accounts. What's in your, like, how much do you have in your savings account?
3,900.
All right. $300 a month. I don't want to get this back to Madam Clerk, because I think you're right on the line, but give them a chance. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
You too. Thank
Have a great day, ma'am. All right, Mr. Preston, part of your pretrial release condition is that you're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. I'll give you 30 days before the first narcotics test happens. The alcohol test will start immediately. Do you understand that? All right, have a great day, sir. That was Mr. Preston.
You decided no drugs and alcohol and random urinalysis?
Yes, ma'am. It was a part of our Cinco de Mayo fund that we had yesterday. Good morning, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Denaja Dixon.
Ms. Dixon, you're here in 2021 MM3100AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. Going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no hostile contact. You guys have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence that you have with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location.
Can I ask a question, Your Honor?
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Ask your attorney the question first, and then we can talk about whether you can answer it.
Your Honor, our client has nowhere else to go if she can't have if she has to have a separate residence from the alleged victim. The victim lives there with her. The lease is in her name, but she allowed the alleged victim to live there with them. So in this particular situation, she doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Well, that's why I said maintain a separate residence, not return. So you need to maintain a separate residence. So if it's your apartment and you have somebody in there that's not somebody on the lease, then You just need to talk to your lawyer or find a lawyer to take some action about that.
So,
I can't tell you what, I can't give you legal advice, because that, that's stepping a little bit further into what the law allows me to do. But you need to, there's action you can't take. You just you gotta go out there and do it.
Does she have a one-time return with law enforcement, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. She already has a one-time return, but, that's the drawback. All right, have a great day. Tell me your name, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
Your name?
Leslie Denise Enriquez Ventura.
Ma'am, you're here in 2021 MM 3097 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself? I can't really hear you. I have a hearing problem.
Yeah, we can get you some, we got to solve that problem for you. In 1 second.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you're here in 2021 MM 3097 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
Yes.
I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $1,000, conditional your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Just trying to determine. I need you to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have in this at that location. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you. State, I was trying to figure out what was going on with this 2019 case.
It's currently in pretrial diversion, Your Honor.
It's been in diversion for 3 years? That's what I was confused about, because I'm like,
I just got in the case last year. I'm sorry.
It looks like it got referred July of 2020. And she just got rejected May 3rd, so it was just re-released to the division, so she's...
All right, ma'am, I'm going to revoke any release you have on that case. I'm going to hold you in that case at no bond.
Your Honor, she's had 0 failures to appear, and it's a nonviolent offense in 19 CF 136.
Yeah, but the new one is, though.
I understand, but to act on a nonviolent offense with bond, she already has bond for the violent offense. To put her at no bond keeps her here.
All right, you're going to be held at no bond, ma'am, on that case. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case if not already appointed. You have a great day.
So what is
She's saying as part of, Your Honor, she's saying as part of this pretrial diversion, I guess, with the 2019 case, she was starting Monday with parole officer. She doesn't understand what the state is saying about getting dropped and transferred and all that.
According to the state of Florida, she was referred last year. So if you're just getting started with pretrial diversion now, that would probably mean you're going to get rejected. So,
She ever signed a contract, Your Honor?
and she never signed a contract, so.
Well, she's telling me a parole officer is working with her and telling her,
Well, it's usually run through state probation, so
probation officer, excuse me, then.
you probably won't even find a parole officer around here anymore in the state of Florida.
She says she's got reassigned again. I must emphasize, 0 failures to return. She's employed part-time.
Okay.
It's a nonviolent offense, and to have, if she was, as she says, working to comply with that pretrial diversion and with that probation officer that to keep her here, as you already issued bond on the violent offense, I would be uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have more information. She was dropped on May 3rd from PTD due to failing to complete the impulse control class and none of her community service per the PTI contract that she signed in July 2020. Therefore, she will not be going to PTD again.
All right. Ever have a great day, ma'am.
You think? Smith, it's mental health.
All right, it's 2021 MM 3102 AO. Mr. Daryl Highsmith, we're going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
We'll waive his appearance today, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set his bond in the case amount of $1,500. Condition of his bond that he not have any contact with the victim in this case, not return to the scene of the location where this incident happened, he did not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. He's not to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. He'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at his expense. I'll give him 30 days before the first narcotics test happens. But alcohol testing will start immediately. Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Emmanuel Ortiz.
Mr. Ortiz, you're here in 2021 MM 3071 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. We did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case, and I'm trying to figure out. Well, Mr. Ortiz, do you plan to return back to, I'm not sure where you came from, or you plan to stay here in the Central Florida area?
I'm here in Florida.
All right. And that was, it's community ties, is the reason why he didn't qualify for pretrial release?
One moment, Your Honor.
Do you have another residence you can go to other than where you were staying with this victim?
Yes, I do. It's on Texas Avenue. I don't know the address, but my cousin lives on Texas. I live in Villa Hacienda.
What's your cousin's name?
Maricel Lopez.
Yeah, you know their phone number by heart?
No, I don't.
Did you get booked in with a cell phone?
No, I didn't. I gave it to the officer so he could give it to my girlfriend.
All right.
The kids.
Yep, I got you. Ms. Davis, what do you think?
He could qualify, Your Honor.
All right. All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have to have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'll give you 30 days before any narcotics test happens, but if the alcohol testing will start immediately. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Are you gonna do the no weapons firearms?
Well, no, sorry, and no weapons, no firearms, any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Tell me your name, sir.
Hamza Sheikh.
Sir, you're here in 2021 MM 3084AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name is Manzur Sheikh, last name Shaikh.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Put your hand down. Sir, can you tell me how you know Mr. Sheikh? How do you know him?
He's my brother.
All right. And do you want to have contact with your brother during the course of this case?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And,
No questions, Your Honor.
all right. All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $250. Condition of your bond will be subject to pretrial release supervision. You don't have no hostile contact with your brother. You're allowed to have arguments with your brother. You can argue about things brothers argue about. Who's the brother, who's better at this, et cetera, et cetera. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point whether he's going to call law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you're going to be arrested. You're going to spend the remaining of your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me your name, sir.
Good morning, George Timmons, sir.
Say your name again.
George Timmons.
All right, Mr. Timmons, you're here in 2021 MM 272AW on charge of battery dating violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
Your Honor, this potentially should have been charged as a bat TV with strangulation. Just ask you to take that into account when setting bond.
And his prior history as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, in this case, I'm going to set your bond amount of $2,000, conditioning your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You're not possessing any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You need to maintain a separate, well, this is a, one second. Also, you cannot return to the scene of this location where this incident happened. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case? You have a great day, sir.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Your Honor, if she spit it on me and I'm going to ask.
Uh-huh.
Almost tried to maintain a separate residence.
Yeah, no. Because can you tell me your name, sir?
Rentavious Wood.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2021 MM3103AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna set you,
This one, I believe, should have been charged as a broken bay with a bat therein. He reached into her vehicle and pulling her hair, so I would ask for a reset.
all right. I'll reset this case for Monday morning. Give the state chance to correct the error in the charging affidavit. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you, Mr. Williams. While that happens, I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim in this case while you're here at jail no, cover your face. Cover your face. No contact with the victim while you're here in the jail. And I'll see you Monday morning.
So I didn't get a bond?
Well, right now, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to this new charge that you're facing. You're also out on bond, then probably going to take action as to that case as well. But there's an issue with how the case was charged that the state wants to correct. They have the ability to do that. I'm giving them to Monday morning to do that, okay? So I'll see you on Monday morning. I'm just gonna wait till Monday. I mean, unless the state we'll just deal with everything on Monday. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Maya Gwen.
Ms. Gwen, you're here in 2021 CT 3327AO on charge of driver license suspended. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State, was there an offer you provided to Ms. Gwen, and did it include
The out
this
on bond petty
out on
theft?
bond case? Yes.
Your Honor, her out on bond petty theft, she just got approved for PTD on the 30th of April. So at this time, I don't have an offer for her on that case. I assume that pretrial diversion is going to be revoked due to this new law offense. The offer conveyed on the Dwellis was an adjudication credit time served.
All right, so as to the petty theft, was there, I'm guessing the question I have, like, is it anything special, like a Walmart petty theft?
It is Target, Your Honor. Value of the merchandise stolen was $351.73.
All right, is there any restitution in that case? Or cost of investigation?
It is OPD, Your Honor, so there will be a cost of investigation. And in regards to the merchandise, I believe it was all obtained.
Covered?
Yes, so there's a cost of investigation in the amount of $122.50 to Orlando Police Department.
All right. You said Target, 1 second.
Only other history I see for her in Orange County is a ag assault with a deadly weapon and battery DV. That was a juvenile offense. That was no problem.
All right, Ms. Gwen, this is what's gonna happen.
May I be appointed and be heard on?
Are they on the other case?
Yes.
All right.
Can I be appointed in this case as well?
May want to ask her if she wants to pay that money first before you do that. 2021 MM1808AO. Yep. All right, so what I was gonna do is, I was gonna give let the state, the offer stand as to the driver license suspended charge. I was gonna offer her a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs, cost of investigation as to the petty theft. She wants to get everything done right now.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. We spoke with our client, Ms. Gwynn, and we would ask you take no action on the out on bond case 21 MM1808. It's a nonviolent offense as well as the case she's here.
Besides the nonviolent thing, why? I want you to develop, I don't want you to get caught in this circle. So
she is
it's the specific case that she's out on bond on from think not too long ago, I think like in February, that she now is here now in March, maybe May, for another misdemeanor offense. And she has an outstanding warrant for that same charge in another state. Why should I not, based on the factors in the bond statute and the pretrial release statutes, why should I not hold her, like, take action on the case?
Your Honor, I'm just trying to advocate for our client with the case 21-1808. She's doing PTI for the charge already. This is a nonviolent theft case versus the one she's here before you today, which is a traffic violation. Again, I emphasize no action on the bond case because she's already bonded out on the case before you here with the traffic violation. If you are not inclined, we still, Ms. Gwynn may plead to the traffic violation, as you suggested with those terms, with no action on the out on bond case. That would be in the best interest of my client, Your Honor.
So, as to that, probably, I mean, it's also like, looks like she's on probation in Georgia as well. So, I'm actually not gonna want to have her, give her a chance to talk, like, deal with that. She's on probation in Georgia as well for another driver license suspended charge. I'm going to set her bond in the driver license suspended case amount of $1,000, condition of that case that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're out on bond in 2021, MM 1808AO.
Your Honor, I have a little bit more information regarding that case.
Yep.
Theft, it looks like, was from 2019. She was referred to PTD twice and got rejected.
Yeah, this came from a felony case, somehow ended up in county court. I don't know why. This case has been going on since 2018, remember, if I saw that correctly?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, from August of 2018, we filed an information, and then we just recently, as of March of 2021, filed an amended information, which is like the petty theft that she's on now.
All right. Court's going to revoke that bond. I'm going to set a new bond at $0 in that case.
Your Honor,
I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Ms. Gwynn in all her cases.
as I mentioned, if we spoke with our client, Ms. George, spoke with Ms. Gwynn about a possible plea for the moving violation if there was no action taken on the 21-1808 case. Is that something that, in your discretion, you could order?
Well, I'm not willing to do that right now because she's also on probation in another state. So any plea, I don't know what the charges, the maximum penalties are for that, going to subject to her to some new violation of probation in the state of Georgia.
But if she's sitting here on no bond, how can she deal with the probation issue in Georgia?
We send people to Georgia all the time. On every Thursday, I deal with extradition for if she wants to go back to Georgia, she can make that request through the interstate compact. But it's not going to take a plea on somebody that's on
With a
probation.
traffic violation, and now she has to sit in jail for a traffic violation. She was working on
Sitting
this
in
case.
jail, listen, she's not sitting in jail for a traffic violation. She's sitting in jail because she's violated the court orders, not only here, but in another state. So it has nothing to do with the actual case that she's that's one of the things that she's committed a new offense, alleged to commit a new offense. That's the same offense that she's on probation for, which I don't know if you can find a judge anywhere that's going to be like, that's okay. So it's not about the specific case that she's in there for. The problem is that when you talk about bond conditions, is whether they're going to be able to follow court orders to protect the public and stay out of trouble. She's done none of those three things.
I understand, Your Honor. It's just, we had offers to resolve this. She's already working on a case. I know about the probation in Georgia that she can deal with as well. And now she's had a bond revoked, so I
Okay.
it upsets.
Have a great day, Ms.
upsets me.
Quinn. All right, I had Roman Vasquez bonded.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry.
I'm going to. So he can't withhold the withholding. Oh, okay.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Robert Emmanuel Sanchez III.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, you're here in 2021 CT 3331 AO on charge of no valid driver's license. You're also here in 2021 CT 33330 AO on charge of leaving the scene of an accident with property damage.
Yes, sir.
As into 33330 AO, going to stay your bond in that case amount of $1,000. Condition your bond that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You have no contact with the victim in that case. You're also here in 2021 CT 3331 AO, going to stay your bond in that case amount of $500. Condition your bond that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You have an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County for another driver's license suspended case. The bond in that case set your bond amount of $2,000. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in these cases. Don't drive. Have a great day. Tell me your name, sir. Tell me your name.
Thomas Sassini Jr.
Sir, you're here in 2020 CT 1379 AO on a charge of failure to appear. The judge signed a warrant for that failure to appear, set your bond amount of $0.
Your Honor,
Hey,
there
was
was an offer conveyed on the current 1379 case as well as his out on bond 246 case. In regards to the 1379, the offer was an adjudication credit time served. And in regards to the 246 case, it was a withholding credit time served.
And Your Honor, may I have a moment to speak with
Sure.
Ryan about those terms? All right, Your Honor. Thank you.
So what do you want to do?
I just went over the terms of the offers from the state as well as the rights that would be waived by pleading to those terms. I spoke with Mr. Sassini about pleading about citizenship issues and probationary issues, and he recognizes those rights and understands that he's waiving those rights, and he would like to enter a plea of no contest today.
All right, sir, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2020 CT 1379 AO, as well as 2020 CT 246 AO for both the same charge, driving license suspended. Both of those are second-degree misdemeanors. Both of those are punishable by 60 days in the county jail each and a $500 fine each. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your attorney tells you that you want to enter a plea of no contest as to those two cases. Is that correct?
Yes.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive every single right outlined on that plea form that's in front of you.
Yes.
Are you under influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
Do you understand about a subsequent conviction in a driver license suspended case can enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
Yes.
You understand also that a third or subsequent offense within 5 years can label you as a habitual traffic offender, you can lose your license for 5 years.
Yes.
You understand if you're not a United States citizen, it could be subject to deportation by entering this plea.
Yes.
Do you all stipulate to a factual basis in each case?
Yes.
For the purposes of this plea, Your Honor, yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Based on that stipulation in my review of the court file while I was in chambers, I did find a factual basis contained therein. I will accept your plea of no contest after both charges. I will start my sentencing. I will accept your plea of no contest, find it is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll start my sentencing with 2020 CT 246 AO. In that case, I'll withhold adjudication of guilt. I'll give him credit for the 1 day that you have. Nope. Sir.
$25 days, Your Honor.
I give you 25 days credit with 25 days credit time served in that case. The court costs and cost of prosecution in that case are $301. You have a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. In 2020 CT 1379 AO, I want to adjudicate you guilty as to that charge. Give you credit for the
28 days.
28 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 28 days credit time served. The court costs the cost of prosecution in that case of $306. There's a $50 public defender application fee. $50 public defender lien. I'm not going to apply the application fee to as to that case. I want to combine those two cases for cost. I want to give you 3 years from today's date to pay that money directly to this incident happen. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol by a valid prescription. I'm not going to take any action on your 2021 MM 2239 AO case or 2020 MM 8734 AO case. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in these cases. Have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Full name?
Yes.
Essence William Bermudez Carrasquillo.
Sir, you're here in 2021 MM 1217 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge signing a warrant in that case sets your bond amount of $200. I ask the state of Florida, do you have something to resolve all these cases? Because they look like they came out of the same arrest.
Yes, Your Honor. In regards to the resisting without, it will be an adjudication, credit time served.
Only thing I'm concerned about is there's no valid duelist situation because I can't convict him of both.
Your Honor, on that out on bond case, the judge has been working with our client to get his license. He did allow him out on bond to do just that. And so he is going to be accepting that plea from the state on 21MM1217, and then we would request no action on those out on bond cases.
All right. So what about the reckless driving case? I understand the other cases, but if he's on somebody's duelist pretrial release docket, pre-CC docket.
Your Honor, the offer on the reckless would also be an adjudication, credit time served,
All right, so $25 minimum fine,
and the $100 fine
$100 fine.
based off the driving record, driving pattern.
Again, our client's been working with the court to get that license to deal with those cases. And so we would appreciate this court to recognize that. Again, to add on to that argument, he is willing to accept the state's offer on 21MM1217. And then he would, of course, be dealing with getting a driver's license as the court has allowed him.
So I guess my question is the license case involving the reckless driving case, because those are him not having, like, the judges doing their driver's license suspended dockets and all kind of stuff like that. Usually a separate situation than the reckless driving case. That's all I was trying to figure out. Was there
I spoke with Ms. George earlier. To my knowledge, all those cases are being dealt with, and that the judge is working with him to get his license. I believe he's dealing with all those cases.
Okay. All right, sir, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, put your hand down. Does he already have the PD on this resisting case?
I do not see it, Your Honor, no.
Okay. All right, sir, you're here in 2021 MM1217AO on a charge of resisting officer without violence. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve that case?
No contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to give it the right to have all those rights listed on the plea form right there in front of you?
Yes.
You understand you're going to give up all those rights?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication? Yeah.
No.
Come on. Yeah, there we go.
No.
There you go.
No, I don't drink or nothing.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Way back, I would say.
Oh, see, exactly. Like you kind of keep moving this way. Like you need to stay right here.
I
There.
would say back in 2015, but I
All
don't.
right. What was that mental health illness?
That was just, it's done with.
I can't understand what you're saying.
It was done with. It was just old.
Well, what back then? What did they diagnose you
just,
with?
Anxiety.
Okay, there you go. Stay right there.
Just anxiety, that was
All right.
it.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of those mental health illnesses right now?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Oh, I'm a USA citizen.
I had an opportunity to view the court file in this case in my chambers. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'll accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 4 days that you spent in Orange County Jail and 4 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in that case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir. I'm not going to take any action on your out-on bond cases 2021 CT 1355, 1358, 1356 AO. Tell me your name, sir.
Kenneth Hardy.
Sir, you're here in 2021 MM3081AO on charge of possession of drug paraphernalia, solicitation on the roadway, and solicitation without a permit. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest at all of those charges. You're also here in 2021 MM2252AO for a failure to appear. The judge in that case set your bond amount of $2,000. You're also here in 2021 MO 382AO on a charge of failure to appear. The judge set your bond amount of $200. State, do you have an offer to resolve all three cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. In regards to 21 MM2252, state is filing a null pros.
Okay.
In regards to 21 MO 382, it would be an adjudication, credit time served.
Okay.
And in regards to 21 MM3081, it would be an adjudication, credit time served on count 2 and 3, and a no info onto count 1.
All right.
In Your Honor, because our client is resolving all these issues today, we would ask no action on his out-on-bond case 21CF1087AO.
Okay, let's talk about, did anybody explain this kind of relatively complicated offer to him?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Hardy, do you want to accept that offer from the state of Florida? Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir. All right, put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2021 MM3081AO on two charges. The first one is solicitation in the roadway and solicitation without a permit. Both of those are second-degree misdemeanors. Both of those are punishable by 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. You're also here in 2021 MO 385 AO, I think for a charge of disorderly conduct, I believe. Remember correctly. Yeah, disorderly conduct, as well as a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that? Do you want to enter pleas of guilty or no contest to resolve those three charges?
No contest, sir.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to give up all the rights outlined on the plea form in front of you? Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication? Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes.
What was that mental health illness?
Bipolar schizophrenia.
Are you suffering from the symptoms of your bipolar depression or schizophrenia right now?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity to review the charging affidavit in 2021 MM 3081 AO, as well as the court file in 2021 MO 358 AO, and the court did find a factual basis contained therein in both cases. I'm going to start my sentencing in 2021 MM 3081 AO, and in that case, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I'm going to give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in that case are $273. In 2021, MO 382 AO, I want to adjudicate you guilty as to that charge. Give you credit for the 4 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 4 days credit time served. The court costs in that case are $223 and a $10 filing fee in that case. I wanted to combine both these costs for payment. I'm going to give you 3 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing. State, can you make your announcements as to the two cases?
Yes, Your Honor. State announces a no information as to count 1 in 21 MM 3081. I'm about to follow that up with a no information notice for the clerk. And state has previously just filed a no pros as to the only count in 21 MM 2252.
All right, sir. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing. You have a great day. I'm not taking any action on your 2021 CF 1087 AO case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tell me your name, sir.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Your name.
Ho, last name is Ho, H-O. First name is H-O-A-N-G.
All right. Is it Hong or is it
Huang.
Hong?
Huang is first name, Ho is last name.
All right, Mr. Hong Ho, you are here in 2021 MM56AO for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signed your warrant, set your bond in the amount of $500. State that you have an offer that you wanted to extend to Mr. Ho.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer was an adjudication credit time served.
All right, Mr. Ho, did you want to accept that offer from the state of Florida of an adjudication of guilt credit time served?
Yes, Your Honor, no contest.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and none but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here in 2021 MM56AO on a charge of disorderly intoxication. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
No contest, Your Honor.
All right. And was the public defender already on this case?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ho, did you have an opportunity to review all the rights that you're going to be giving up when you enter a plea of no contest in that case on that plea form that's in front of you?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the
Did
question.
you have an opportunity to review the plea form? Did you understand all the rights you're going to give up by entering a plea of no contest?
Yes, Your Honor, I do understand.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
If you're not a United States citizen, entering a criminal plea could subject you to being deported from this country.
I'm a U.S. citizen, Your Honor.
All right, I had to let everybody know. All right. Has anybody, sorry, I did have an opportunity to review the court file in this case while I was in chambers, but do you all stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor, for the purposes of this plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Based on that stipulation, my review of the court file, the court does find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest. Find that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I will adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court cost of prosecution in this case are $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. All those costs will be due to the clerk within 1 year of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, have a great day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I get Mr. Well,
Simmons and Porter.
Can I get Mr. Simmons as well? Mr. Simmons? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And we don't have any more interpreter cases for today, correct?
No.
No. I was gonna say we're about to hit a dark hour for until 1 o'clock, so. Can we tell me your name, ma'am?
Shaquita Stalker.
I can't hear you.
Shaquita Stalker.
I'm Ms. Stalker. You're here in 2021 MO, 52780 on a charge of a state ordinance violation, I believe for trespass in a banned or condemned building. And you're also here on a violation of probation in 2020 CF 4811AO based on an affidavit for arrest filed by law enforcement. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Creighton Simmons.
Mrs. Simmons, you're here in 2021 MO 526AO for a violation of that same state ordinance violation, misdemeanor, for trespass in a condemned building. And you're also here in 2021 CF 5318AO for a charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy and introduction of contraband to a detention facility. You're also here for a violation of probation from Escambia County in 2018 CF 5530 based on a on-view violation filed by the law enforcement officer. As to the misdemeanor MO case, it involves both of you, involved the same charging affidavit. I did find probable cause for your arrest as to that. As to that charge, I'm going to stay your bonds in those cases in the amount of $500. Sorry, it's $250? Sorry, $250 in both cases. Condition your bond that you not return to the scene of the location, that you have no contact with each other during the course of your release in those cases. In 2020 CF 4811, that's your case, Ms. Stalker, for violation of probation. I'm going to accept the law enforcement officer's on-view violation of probation. However, I want to set a bond in that case in the amount of $5,000. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim in the underlying case for your battery. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in both cases. As to Mr. Simmons, in your cases, in 2021 MO 526AO, I'm going to find probable cause, stay your bond at $250. Condition your bond that you have no contact with Ms. Stalker, now return to the scene of the location where the incident happened. That you And then you're also here in 2021 CF 5318 AO. In those cases, I want to say your bond account one, amount of $1,000. Count two, I forgot what was this set? Apologize. And was stay your bond amount of $150, condition your bond that you not have possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. In your probation case, 2018 CF 5530 AO, the court's going to accept the law enforcement's armed view violation of your probation. Want to stay your bond at $0. Sir, you're a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not going to be entitled to release on that case. You can get to Escambia County to resolve your violation of probation. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case, in all your cases. Possibly one of you is going to get regional conflict counsel, the other one's going to get the public defender. Everybody have a great day.
A bond.
Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Rodney Porter, sir.
Mr. Porter, you're here in 2021 MO 528 AO for a violation of a city ordinance. And I believe for, will be, I think, considered disorderly conduct or trespass, one of them. Did find probable cause for either one of those violations. The court, did anybody discuss a plea with Mr. Porter? I believe it's a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. It's a city case, so I'm guessing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, our client's inquiring about the disorderly conduct. We have a charge here of general penalty provisions. Does that include?
Yeah, the general penalty provisions, that's just literally the part of the city ordinance that says out penalties. The actual crime that was committed looks like falls under the idea of disorderly conduct or resisting. So that's kind of, it's one big, huge, like ordinance they filed that actually covers a whole bunch of crimes. The question is, you want to resolve that case with the city, or what do you want me to do? Offers a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs.
Oh, you asked me?
Yes, sir. Did you want to resolve the case?
Yes, sir, I do want to resolve.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sir, you are here in 2021 MO 528 AO on charge of disorderly conduct. That's a second-degree misdemeanor, it's punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve that case today?
No contest, sir, resolve it.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights listed on that plea form right there?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir, I haven't.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea? You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs, the cost of prosecution in this case are $223. I'll reduce those costs of judgment. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day.
Yes, sir, you.
This one was. All right. And Mr. Reed.
Reed refused court, Your Honor.
All right, it's 2021 ML 529 AO. I'm appointing public defender to represent Mr. Reed. You guys want to try to reset him for tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor, we have an offer from the
All right,
state. We
let's
would
reset
appreciate
him
that.
for tomorrow morning and see if he's more inclined to join us at that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty. Tell your name, ma'am.
Alexis.
Say it again.
Alexis.
Ma'am, you're here in 2021 CF 5307 AO on charge of robbery with a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm, grand theft of a firearm, grand theft and tampering with a witness. I reviewed the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest as to those 5 charges. State, what do you say is the count 1 of the affidavit?
Your Honor, count 1 is a punishable by life offense. State asks that you hold her no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you, ma'am.
No argument, Your Honor, pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. Ma'am, it's the count 1, I'm going to hold you at no bond. As the count 2, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $2,500. Count 3, I'm going to stay your bond in the amount of $1,000. Count 4, I'm going to stay your bond in the amount of $1,000. And count 5, I'm going to stay your bond in the amount of $1,000. You have no contact with the victims in this case. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not to return to the location where this incident happened. Say any other conditions you want me to set pending the Arthur hearing?
No contact with the witnesses as well, Your Honor.
All right, sorry, you have no contact with any witnesses or possible co-defendants. Have a great day, ma'am. Tell me your name, sir.
Daniel Bowling.
Mr. Bowling, you're here in 2021 CF 5311 AO on, I think, 7 counts of transmission of materials harmful to a minor with the use of electronic device. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bonds at the amount of $5,000 on each count. Condition of your bonds that you had no contact with any minor and under the age of 18 years old, and you do not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your arrest, and you're not allowed to access the internet while you're out on release on this case. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, he has another case.
I have an affidavit for it, though. That was the, let me see. Correct. All right, sir, you're also here in 2021 CF 5312 AO on a charge of attempted lewd lascivious battery, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I'm struggling there. Unlawful use of two-way communication device. Possession of cannabis oil and obscene communications, traveling to meet a minor, and solicitation of a minor via computer. They reviewed the charging affidavit in that case as well. As to count 1, I don't believe that's a PBL. That's just a.
It is not,
T,
Your
right?
Honor, due to the attempt.
Yep. All right, so in that case, going to set your bond amount of $15,000. Count, going to stay your bonds, your remaining counts amount of $150. No contact with any child under the age of 18 years old. No weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And you're not allowed to access the internet as well in that case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case as well. You have a great day, sir.
I was ready for case law on the attempt.
Yeah, it was a. All right, sir, tell me your name.
Jakari Clark.
All right, Mr. Clark, you're here in 2021 CF 5308 AO on charge of possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver with a weapon and possession of cannabis oil. Let me just check this real quick. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Is my lawyer here by any chance?
Who's your lawyer?
Lauren Bobek.
I have not seen her, but did she file a notice of appearance in this case? Or is she on your other case?
I think the other case, she told me she was going to be here today. I spoke with her this morning.
Your Honor, may I speak to Mr. Clark as a friend of the court?
Sure.
Your Honor, I don't see an NOA on 5308 yet.
Well, let's see if, Let's call her on the other case, 2020 CF 6768 AO. She on that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Should I give her a ring? Mr. Clark should step back while we do that.
You do have her number, Your Honor?
Say again?
You do have the attorney's number?
Yeah, we're gonna pull out, it should be on her notice of appeal from the other case.
Yes, Your Honor, and I have it if the clerks need it.
So we're gonna reach her, all right, I don't know how comfortable you got, all right, I need 3 new people. Are you guys gonna be okay with all 4 of them here in the courtroom at the same time? They want Mr. Clark to step back into the hallway. So I need Crenshaw, Irving, and Crenshaw bonded,
Yes.
Irving, and then Shuler, Schuler, I'm sorry.
Just Schuler?
Well, I was gonna call all 3 of them, they're all co-defendants, but they all jumped the gun here. All right, tell me your name, ma'am.
Mabel Schuler.
Ms. Schuler, you're here in 2021 CF 5297 AO on charge of retail larceny of grand theft with multiple locations. I did review the charging affidavit as well as providing false information to law enforcement. I did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for those 2 charges. Going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $2,500. Condition of your bond, in this count 2, going to set your bond amount of $500. Condition your bond is not returned to the scene of the location. Have no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, which is Ms. Irving and Ms. Crenshaw.
How much my bond was again? They told me 1,000.
No, man, you're out on bond for a grand theft. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Actually, you're on probation. You're on probation for a grand theft. Give me 1 second. So your bond is $2,500 to count 1, $500 to count 2. Can't have any contact with your co-defendants, which is Ms. Irving and Ms. Schuler. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to possess any shoplifting devices. Not allowed to return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You have a warrant in 2015 CF 11247 from Sarasota County for violation of probation. Your bond is set at none in that case. You're a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not entitled to release on that violation of probation until you can get down to Sarasota County to resolve that violation of probation. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you while you're here in my custody, though. You have a great day, ma'am. Oh, nobody against her? All right, let's bring Mr. Clark back after we're done with Mr. Cruz bonded, and then we'll bring Mr. Clark back. All right, sir, tell me your name.
William Puertas.
Sir, you're here in several cases. The first one in 2014 CF 6546 AO on charges of grand theft and 2 counts and conspiracy to commit a grand theft and 2 counts. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. They set your bond in each account in the amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you have not returned to the scene of location, had no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. You're also here in 2014 CF 8388 AO for a charge of grand theft and conspiracy to commit a grand theft. Your bond in count 1 is $5,000 and $150 is the count 2. Condition of your bond in that case is not having any contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, and you're not allowed to return to the scene of the location where that incident happened. You're out and you also were arrested in 2014 CF 5980 AO for a charge of grand theft and conspiracy to commit a grand theft. The judge in that case set your bond in amount and a warrant set your bond in amount of $2,500 on each count. Condition your bond not having any contact with any victims or witnesses or co-defendants. You're not allowed to return to the scene of the location where the incident happened. You're also arrested in 2014 CF 2245 BO for a failure to appear. The judge in that case set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $15,000 and count 2 $500. Condition of that bond as well is you not have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, and you not return to the scene of the location where the incident happened in that case. I want to appoint a public defender in your other cases that you're not already appointed.
Your Honor, in regards to the 14 CF 5980, I know you said the 2,500 on count 1. Is it 500 on count 2?
Where? Which one?
for 5980.
5980, was it 250 on each count, or was it 500?
It was 2,500 on count one, and I thought 500 on count two.
All right, let me check. Or is anybody agreeing? Yep, 250, look at the warrant itself. Yep, sorry, 250, 500, apologize. So count two is $500 and 2014 CF 5980 AO. So those other conditions still stand. Point of public defender represents you in all the other cases. Have a great day, sir.
I believe he also has an extradition warrant out of Texas that they will extradite him for.
I don't have any paperwork about it. Well, Texas may be looking for you, so we'll deal with that when it comes up, all right? All right. All right, Mr. Clark, we tried to reach out to your attorney, couldn't get a hold of her. So in 2021 CF 5308 AO, I did find probable cause for your arrest in those two charges of possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver with a weapon and possession of cannabis oil. I'm going to state your bonds amount of $15,000 in count one and $1,000 in count two. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I was trying to explain to the officer last night about me having my medical marijuana license. I don't have the actual copy, but I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, so
Okay.
when I go to the dispensary.
That's a defense that you need to take up with your attorney. There's some other issues you got going on as well. As you were out on bond in 2020 CF 6768 AO. In that case, the court is going to revoke that bond, set a new bond at $0. We're going to talk to you, call Ms. Bowen, get contact with her, and she can get you in front of the division judge to get you a new bond in that case. All right?
May I speak to Mr. Clark as a friend of the court, Your Honor?
Sure. I don't want to talk too much about his case because
Of course, Your Honor.
what he thinks is a defense may not be a defense.
Of course, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Clark, there we go. Tell me your name, sir.
Rodney Felix.
Mr. Felix, you're here in 2021 CF 5309 AO on charges of possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find, Yep, try to find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in amount of $15,000. Conditional your bond that you have do not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
So, sir, why did my bond go from $1,000 to $15,000?
Well, you had a substantial amount of narcotics in your possession with a firearm, as far as at least what the charging affidavit says. All right, that Fuller bonded? Fuller?
Yes.
All right.
Call us right away.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Have a great day, sir. All right, then I had Gonzalez. Or Railroad? Ravello? Say your name, sir? All right. All right, I had Gonzalez. Jonathan Gonzalez.
He's on his way, Your
Okay, that's one. Oh, no, that's fine. We said this is, all right, Hernandez bonded.
Yes.
All right, let's deal with Joshua Holder. This is correct, right? Joshua Holder? Yes. All right, sir, you're here in 2021 CF 5291 AO on charge of possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest, gonna stay your bond in that case amount of 1,000 and 100 respectively. Condition your bond that you're not possessing drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And he's already been seen on these other cases, correct?
I never got an affidavit or nothing.
This is like some added on charges, so,
I'm saying they were supposed
Correct.
they were supposed to file these charges all the way October 14th last year.
I'll just tell you what I got right now, man. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case.
Our clients were requesting a copy of the arrest affidavit, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, you should get one when you get your paperwork from court.
Huh?
When you get your paperwork from court, you should get a copy of your affidavit. Make sure the state of Florida, somebody provides him with a copy of the affidavit. It's basically the affidavit from, looks like your arrest the last time, just they finally filed the drug charges for all the marijuana that was found. All right, have a great day, sir. All right. Tell me your name, sir. Mr. Lamar, you're here in 2021 CF 5316 AO on a charge of attempted sexual battery on a person 18 years or older. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I had a question. He was already seen on these other charges? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, I'm going to set your bond in that case amount of $25,000, conditioning your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case, that you not return to the scene of the location, you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also have 48 hours from the time you are released on any of these cases to report to the sheriff's office as a violent sexual predator or sexual offender. You have a great day, sir.
Okay, hold up, I can't.
Mr. Appointed public defender to represent you.
Yesterday was 5,000, now, jumped it up to 25,000?
Well, it's a different charge.
That's a different charge.
Well, the charges you were seen on yesterday were violation of, for failing to register as a sex offender, resisting office without violence, stalking, voyeurism, assault, and battery.
And
So those are the charges you were facing yesterday. Now, this charge is attempted sexual battery, which is a sex offense, which is something different than the charge you were facing yesterday.
So this one is what?
Attempted sexual battery is the charge you're arrested for today, what I'm seeing you for today.
How possible is this?
I mean, how is possible this? First, cover your face.
How possible is this?
What do you mean? I don't understand what is possible.
Say I'm being charged with this today?
That's the charge that's on the affidavit that I read today, that gave me, there were probable cause for facts of attempted sexual battery. All right, I had McMillan bonded, and I had Moore bonded. Jamaica Moore, inmate number 210100735.
Repeat that again,
210100735. All right, and then McMillan bonded as well?
Yes.
All right, tell me your name, sir.
Tyreek Nichols, sir.
Is it Turk Nicholson?
Tyreek Nichols.
Tyreek Nicholson, I'm sorry, I apologize about that. Sir, you're here in 2021 CF 5281 AO on charge of burglary of a dwelling. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in this case amount of $5,000, condition your bond that you have no contact with any victims or witnesses from this case, and do not return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. State, as to this trespass case,
Your Honor, I was also gonna ask for no contact with all the witnesses. They're all juveniles,
Right.
all the co-defendants.
no contact with any co-defendants or your little crew you were with, all right? Or any other witness in this case.
Yes, Your Honor, that trespass is currently in trial posture. It's set for trial on the 11th.
So was there an offer you wanted, was that like, I didn't get a chance to read the facts of that case. Was there an offer that was discussed with Mr. Nicholson?
There was an offer that was conveyed and formally rejected on the record, which is why it's set for trial on the 11th, so in 4 days. So I have no offer at this time.
All right, sir, in 2020, MM 5733AO, the court's going to revoke your bond in that case, finding probable cause that you committed a new law offense in 2021 CF 5281AO. And we're going to hold you at no bond as to that case. You already had a public defender in that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll appoint a public defender to represent you in your new case as well.
So
All
do
right,
I have,
ask your attorney your question first before you ask me. All right, I had Para Martinez bonded.
Bonded.
appreciate it.
Tell me your name, sir.
Louis Perez.
Mr. Perez, you're here in 2021 CF 5301AO on charge of possessing oxycodone. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in this case amount of $1,000, condition your bond that you're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, that you're not associated with any known drug dealers. Defense, you're going to tell me something? You're standing up, and then you sat down.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in that case. Sir, you're out on bond in 2021 MM 2456AO, 2020 CF 4264AO, 2021 CF 2999AO, as well as 2020 CF 3000AO. In those cases, the court's going to revoke those bonds. Going to set new bonds at $0 in that case. As to these cases with or have no contact with any victims or witnesses from those cases while you're here at the Orange County Jail, at one point you can get in front of your division judge. Do you feel like there's going to be an appropriate bond condition that judge can set for you and to let you back out? You have a great day, sir. Tell me your name, sir.
Excuse me?
Your name.
My name is Munir Razak.
Is it Ruska? Say your last name again.
Razak, R-A-Z-Z-A-Q. I'm
Razak.
sorry, I have some accent.
All right, sir, you're here in 2021 CF 5280AO on charge of burglary of conveyance with assault or battery therein and tampering with a witness to hinder communication. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. State, I did find probable cause for your arrest. No, sorry, there's a warrant signed finding probable cause for your arrest. State, what do you say is the count one of the warrant?
Your Honor, count one of the warrant is a punishable by life offense. State asks that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
And I'm going, sir, defense, what do you have hearing devices?
I can hear what you say.
All right, just give me some hearing devices.
Jonathan, the one you got to the side.
We'll see, we're still here at 1 o'clock.
Like a play in the music.
All right, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you're here in 2021 CF 5280AO on charges of burglary of conveyance with assault or battery therein and tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement. A judge signing a warrant found probable cause for your arrest as to those two charges. The state of Florida is asking me that I hold you no bond as a count one because it's a punishable by life offense. I want to ask your attorney what is his argument against what the state's requesting.
Are we appointed, Your Honor?
Hear you again?
Are we appointed as his attorney?
Yes, sir. I already appointed a public defender to represent him.
We have no argument pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. All right, sir, as a count one, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to that charge pending an Arthur hearing in front of the division judge where you can have a full evidentiary hearing as to whether there should be any release conditions that you're let out on that case or whether you're entitled to a bond as to that case. You're also, as count two, want to set your bond amount of $2,000. Conditionally, your bond while you're here at the Orange County Jail and anytime you're released is you had no contact with the victim in this case or any other victims in this case or any witness in this case. Not to return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Say the other release conditions you want me to set while before our hearing happens.
Not at this time, Your Honor, since he's being held no bond.
Your Honor, can I speak into the microphone so you can hear me through the device, the listening device?
Well, you're going to be on the record, so that's the. So you want to. Can I ask that question before 12 o'clock? You don't speak English?
So what's it gonna be now?
All right. All right, sir.
He has a list of medications, a sleep apnea machine, and anxiety, and he's worried
You need to
about
report
getting it
all those
while
to
in.
medical. You report all those to the medical department at the jail, and they can, you can help you with all those things. All right, have a great day, sir. All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Sylvester Smith.
Yes, step up. I can't hear you.
Sylvester,
No, keep your face covered. You just gotta get closer to the mic.
Sylvester Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, you're here in 2021 CF 5319 AO on the charges of uttering a forgery and possessing of a forged note. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. I'm gonna say your bond account one in the amount of $2,000, gonna set your bond account two in the amount of $150. Condition your bond not allowed to return to the scene of the incident not allowed to return to the scene where this incident happened. You're not allowed to possess any other personal identification except your own while you're out on release in this case. You want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, I do.
Mhm. All right, tell me your name, sir.
Matthew Markel Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2021 CF 2947 AO. Sorry, on the charges of grand theft. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. You're also here in 2020 MM 5902 AO on a charge of failure to appear. Judge in that case set your bond amount of $2,000. I did speak with Judge Adams about your release conditions in that case. And in both cases, I'm going to release you on mental health pretrial release in those cases. If you do not qualify for mental health pretrial release while you're out on those cases, I want to set bond in your 2021 CF 2945 AO case in the amount of $500. And in your 2020 MM 7902 AO case in the amount of $500. Conditions that you not return to the scene, not have any contact with any victims or witnesses in those cases.
Yes, sir.
I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in those cases. If you're not already appointed, you have a great day, sir.
Your Honor,
I'm not going to take any action, I'm sorry, on your 2020 CF 2885 and 2020 CF 2081 AO case.
on his 2947 case, what were you gonna set the bond at?
It's 500 each case. If he doesn't qualify for a mental health pretrial release. Can you tell me your name, sir?
How you doing? My name is Kadeem Wright.
Mr. Wright, you're here in 2021 CF 5305AO on charges of possession of MDMA or ecstasy. Did review the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in this case in the amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond that you do not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Your
I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Go ahead.
On the out-on-bond cases, we would ask the court to consider no action on those bond cases. Our client's mother died recently, and her funeral is this weekend. We wouldn't be able to attend. I wish you would consider that in your decision. Ms. George spoke with him earlier and relayed this to me, and I hope you can keep that in mind.
Okay. All right, sir, you're out on bond in 2021 CF 561AO and also in 2021 CF 1868AO. In both of those cases, the court's going to revoke those bonds, set new bonds at $0. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in those cases if not already appointed. You can make the appropriate applications through the jail if you want to attend your mother's funeral. Is that this weekend?
Sir, I apologize. My mom died from the vaccine and everything like this. This is all I have in Florida. But besides all that, if you want to, just for this, you know, since it's Saturday, any modifications, anything for the acceptability of, to me, to make it happen as a modification, GPS, and just anything. If you want me to call every week, you feel me? Just, you know what I'm saying? Just something just to think about, just of all modifications that you got power over doing.
I can't think of any right now, the tools that I have, I don't have any that I think are acceptable at this time. Now, if you want to attend your mother's funeral, I suggest you go, leave immediately, quickly, start working immediately to apply through the jail to see if they will get you down to the cemetery.
Sir, I had the chapel. The chapel's going. He's not allowed up here. I was going to have him just give you the confirmation.
No, I mean, I believe what you're saying. I'm not doubting that your mother passed away and her funeral is tomorrow. Now, there's an application, this process that you're wasting time talking to me.
They're not doing it.
To get to the doing is talking to the warden and figuring out whether you can you gotta pay for you to get transferred there.
Already.
But you can get that done, but you need to get in front of the.
Your Honor, would you consider in your revocation of those bonds to just set a higher bond instead of at none?
No.
I literally just paid him yesterday, like literally.
Your Honor, they're violent offenses. I don't know if you read the
I read 'em.
affidavit in the 21 CF 1868.
I read the cases, as I said, I don't think there's any release conditions or tools that I have that I can set that are appropriate in this case, based on the law that I know of right now.
You only want to put me on GPS or anything?
I don't have GPS.
Home confinement?
I don't have it. So that's what I'm saying. Like all the things you're thinking that we have, I don't have access to. So all the tools I have, only thing I can do is hold you here because, like you said, you're just out or you're back. So we'll hold you in no bond. You have a great day, sir.
Well, sir, before I leave, would you make like a recommendation since you think that if I start now to try to make it happen, would you make like a recommendation saying as judges, you allowing this? This is like 5 days.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the process is. That's a process that I don't control. That's a process through the jail that you start working on.
And you telling me, as a judge, you cannot add on or modify anything that you can think of right now, right?
No, sir.
That's crazy.
Tell me your name, sir. Over your face. There you go.
Stephen Grant.
Mr. Grant, you're here in 2021 CF 5295AO on charge of possession of a firearm, the commission of a felony, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest in those charges. Give me 1 second here. Going to set your bond in count one, amount of $5,000. Count two, you're going to stay your bond amount of 100. Count three, you're going to stay your bond amount of $100. Condition your bond is you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of release, and you're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. There's an on-view violation of probation filed in 2019, CF 16625 AO. In that case, I want to hold you in no bond as to the charges. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You have a great day, sir. All right. Afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Tavares Robinson, sir.
What's your name?
Tavares Robinson.
All right. Mr. Robinson, you're here for several matters. The first one is 2021 CF 5256 AO for a charge of armed burglary of a dwelling. You're also here in 2021 in grand theft from a dwelling of $100 or more. You're also here in 2021 CF 5257 AO for armed burglary of a dwelling, possession of ammunition by convicted delinquent, and possession of firearm by convicted delinquent. You're also here in 2021 CF 5258 AO for a charge of armed burglary of a dwelling and grand theft of $100 or more from a dwelling. You're also here in 2021 CF 5296 for armed burglary of conveyance with a firearm and grand theft of a firearm. All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor.
As to 2021 CF 52, I think it's 58.
5-8.
They kind of left out the fact, you put all the charges and affidavits together, you understand that he was armed from each house to each house.
single
But
one.
in that particular one, they did not have the firearm, I don't believe, listed in that affidavit. And as well in 525, well, I think 5256, I think you're okay.
I believe it is in 5256, Your Honor.
Yeah, 5256, but I think 5258 is the one that's,
Yes, Your Honor. State's going to ask that he be held on no bond in the other cases where there are PPL offenses. Since he's already held no bond, I would just ask for a reset on this one.
all right. I want to point, and also, sir, you're also here for violation of probation in 2020 CF 11714 AO. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. What do you say as to the state's request in 5256, 5257, and 5296?
No argument, Your Honor, pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. All right, sir, in 2021, CF 5256, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to count one in that information. You're not allowed, and I'm going to set your bond to count two in the amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond is in those cases, you're not allowed to return to the scene of the location, not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses, not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned on law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Those are going to be the same conditions I'm going to set on each one of your cases going forward. Do you understand that?
I have a question actually. So that mean I can bond out today?
No, sir. All right, but do you understand I'm setting no return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses, cannot possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand those three conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right, they're going to be on each one of your cases. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're also here in 2021 CF 5257 AO on charge of armed burglary of a dwelling. Going to stay your bond at none in that case. In count two, going to set your bond amount of $4,000. Count three, you're going to set your bond amount of $150. In 2021 CF 5258 AO, I don't find probable cause for armed burglary, but I do find probable cause for burglary of a dwelling.
You want to
I
reset
think is,
Monday, Your Honor?
you want to reset that one?
5258?
Yep, 5258 is the one that I didn't find,
There's
they
no-
forgot, they didn't talk about the gun, so I can't find probable cause for armed burglary. Even though if you read all the affidavits in conjunction, it's, apparent there was the same gun that was
Yes, Your
stolen in 2021 CF 5296, but.
Your Honor, since he's going to be sitting on 4 no bond statuses due to the armed burglary of occupied dwelling, I won't ask for a reset. I'll just
Right.
ask for a burg dwelling.
All right, I did find probable cause in 5258 for burglary of a dwelling. You get, Madam Clerk, the statute. And I'm going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $5,000. And count 2, we're going to set your bond amount of $1,000.
The statute for burg dwelling is 810.02 sub 3.
In 2021 CF 5296, I want to hold you at no bond as the count 1 in that case. And I'm going to set your bond to count 2 in the amount of $1,000. Condition in those bonds are the same 3 conditions: no contact with any witnesses or victims, no return to the scene of the location, and no weapons or firearms. As the 2020 CF 11714 AO for your violation of probation, the court is going to hold you at no bond as to that charge. You're, sir, considered a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not going to be entitled to release on that violation of probation until your violation of probation is completed. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir. All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Chaz DeLeon Horn III.
I'm Mr. Horn, there we go. Mr. Horn, you are here in 2020 CF 7083 AO on a on-view violation for violation of probation. The court's going to hold you at no bond as to one of those charges. I'm going to ROR him as to the duplicate charge.
Understood.
Am I clear to that? You're also here on a violation of probation in 2020 CF 9125 AO. The court's going to find an on-view violation of probation in that case. I'm going to hold you at no bond as to that charge. You're also here in 2021. Let me see. Sorry. Who's? Make sure. Nope. He's already seen on the new cases, correct?
Those were endorsed bonds.
Correct, all right.
So,
Am I addressing those cases?
So how did I violate my probation?
He's already seen an initial appearance
Okay.
before it.
Well, Mr. Horn, looks like you picked up new charges in 2021 CF 1636 AO for violation of a domestic violence injunction and 2 counts, battery, aggravated stalking after injunction, and criminal mischief. Those would be those charges are then violated your probation as you're out on those 2 felony cases. All right?
But I didn't
I'm gonna
violate.
appoint a public defender to represent you. I don't know if you did it or not. I'm not the judge for that. That's for a jury to decide whether you committed those new offenses, or a judge at a violation of probation hearing. Today, I'm just saying release conditions. So I'm appointing a public defender to represent you in those cases. Yeah, well, and I think one of those is
Yeah, we only have one case.
yeah, that's what I was saying. They duplicated 2020 CF 7083. So I'm just finding an on-view violation in 2020 CF 9125 AO. And I'm RORing him on one of those duplicated violations.
What's that on view?
2020 CF 9125 AO.
125.
So he's being held on both cases. So you're getting credit for both cases while you're here. Otherwise, you won't get credit for the other case if I don't do anything in
do I get
action.
out of jail today or no?
No, sir. All right, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in your cases. You have a great day, sir.
Yes.
Tell me your name, sir.
Kevin Campana.
Mr. Capiano, you hear from a Volusia County warrant in 2021 CF 223492. The judge in that case set your bond amount of $5,000. Your bonds remain at $5,000. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. If you can't bond out, we'll get you on to Volusia County as soon as we can.
Sir, but I am able to bond out today on that $5,000 bond?
Yeah, unless you have some other hold that pops up.
There isn't, it's just out of Volusia. So-
Yeah, 5,000, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Oh, sir, can you tell me your name?
How you doing? My name is Jesse Howard.
Mr. Howard, you're here for a Sarasota County warrant. In that case, the judge, for a violation of probation. The judge in Sarasota County sets your bond at none. Your bond's gonna remain at none until we get you down to Sarasota to resolve your case. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you while you're here in my custody. Yes, sir.
Is it, any way possible that I can be reinstated? Because all
I
did was, I was late to give.
Well, hold on, don't talk about your facts of your case.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Like, my JA is probably the next day or two going to reach out to Sarasota County to see if there's any bond conditions that you're released on. But you're still going to have to go back to Sarasota County to resolve the violation of probation. So, but right now, we're going to hold you at none until we can get you, I can speak to that judge from Sarasota County.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a great day. I had Wright. Or Rit.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Richette bonded from Brevard County. All right, so